Thanks again, all you guys being here. Really appreciate y'all coming. There's plenty of shrimp and steak left. Kimler said it's all you can eat today, so have at it. I'll start last week, our game against Monroe. I thought our kids played hard. I thought we were focused. I thought we did some good things coming out of the box. You know, as you watch, the good thing about a Thursday night game, as you watch, you have the opportunity to see a bunch of games on Saturday. And we saw a lot of things that took place during a lot of those games at programs and games across the country. And we eliminated, or we stayed away from a lot of those mistakes, procedural mistakes. So I was pretty pleased with that. I thought our kids were focused. I thought it was we went in a great environment. They have a good football team. They're going to compete this year in their conference. They feel comfortable about that. And I thought our kids competed well. And I was happy about that. We made some mistakes, and they're correctable. We did some things that, you wish you hadn't have done. I thought we were prepared, though. I thought the game plan on both sides of the ball, that the guys did a good job. Our staff did getting the guys ready and putting together a game plan for that from that standpoint. This week, LSU, they really played well the other night against Miami. We were able to watch that. And as you break down the film, you really see how well they played and how they dominated the line of scrimmage, especially on both sides of the football. The quarterback, even though the numbers didn't show, what you saw was his ability to handle the football game and do a good job getting them in and out of plays in the run game and also getting the ball down the field when they needed to. It's obviously he's got some physical skills, and I think that'll show up. I think they'll try to do some things as the year goes on. He'll get better and better, and everything's upward for him. He hadn't played much football, and he'll continue to get better. It's obvious that their skill sets on both sides of the ball are really good. They're athletic. I think their D-line's probably I don't know if it's good as anybody in the country. I mean, if it's better than everybody in the country, but it's as good as anybody in the country. They really got a good football team up front, and they're going to stop the run. They're built that way, and they're going to do a great job of doing that. They'll be physical up front against us. So we've got our work cut out for us, and that's what we're doing. We're working towards putting together a game plan for those guys. We practiced yesterday. We had an extra day, so we were able to get in a good practice last night. And then we'll go again today. As Kimler mentioned, the weather's right now, there's no change in the schedule for us. The weather, we don't feel it's going to affect us. If it does rain, we'll practice in the rain. We'll just stay away from the lightning if we have to. But other than that, the times are going to stay the same, and we'll do the same thing from that standpoint. So with that, I know that's a little quick, but I know some of you guys are getting low on some shrimp, so I want to make sure you got a chance to get back over there and get a few more of those. I'll take any questions.
What's your biggest takeaway from seeing your guys play for the first time against somebody else? Biggest takeaway?
I think the best thing for me was that how well we prepared for the game. You know, Rob, you never know if they can take it from the practice field to the game field. You just don't know how it's going to translate. And we had some guys that we had concerns with because they never played college football before. And we had some other guys who had only played maybe in junior college. So we didn't know how it was going to translate over to what we wanted to do and how we wanted to do it. But what I saw a great effort from our players. That was the part I think is, was exciting as a coach, is that you look at it and you see your players really putting forth great effort and playing hard throughout. When adversity hits sometimes, you're not sure how guys are going to react. And we had some good things happen early, and we kept grinding. And we had some things happen against us. Some adversity took place, and we overcame them. We didn't go in the tank, which you always wonder how that's going to go. So I think we're trending in the right direction from that standpoint. Is no matter what happens, we just got to keep playing whichever side of the ball, good or bad, whichever side of the ball happens to, the other side's got to pick it up. So I think we did some good things from that standpoint.
Coach, I think we all kind of saw Jawan being a great returner, of course, but as a receiver as well, he showed a lot last game. What did you see from him?
Yeah, again, the same thing. Going into the season, we're not sure who can do what because they haven't done it in a game. So we did see some big plays. That's what we're looking for. We were looking for explosive plays offensively out of guys. And then we also looked for guys who can stop explosive plays defensively. So when you looked at those things, you looked at guys who, when you go back and look at it, the guys who did have a chance to make some plays, and they did. There were very few times out there the other night that we had an opportunity to make a big play that a guy didn't come through for us. So we're really happy about that. Now, can we build on top of it? That's the next step. How consistent can you be? And that allows you to be a great player. It's not so much making a great play every time. It's just making the good plays on a consistent basis. So when we got that the other night, we had the opportunity to do something, we did. You know, the quarterback was accurate the other night. So when he had an open receiver, we hit him. We caught the football. We had a chance to protect. We did it. We had a chance to cover down the field and break up a long pass play. We did. They took their shots. We were able to stay in there and handle it. So that was the thing for me, taking that from that game is seeing those guys do that. Now we just got to keep building on it.
Coach, you talk about Jamarcus Russell and his performance. He most individual tackles, program returned. He was all over the field team-wise.
He was, and a lot of it has to do with them running 96 plays the other night too. You know, they had the football. We couldn't get off the field. Third downs was a problem for us. So we have to do a better job converting it on offense and then getting off the field on defense. But he did. He was active, played hard, and this game does take a toll on you when you play that many plays. But I thought he did a nice job. He had some things that, and again, he's going to work on it that we see from a coaching standpoint. But his passion for the game has really been good since I got here. He loves this game. He came out of spring, and he was a little disappointed as to where he was, and it was because he probably didn't spend as much time in the playbook as he should have. This summer was really great for him from that standpoint. He's always worked hard. His effort's always been great, but now he's becoming a good football player from a mental standpoint. So it paid off the other day. There were some natural things that he did, but there were some other things that he did based on game plan and tendencies that they had that really translated for him, and he got a chance to see it. So did a lot of other guys see it also.
Coach, moving forward with the quarterback battle, you said it was going to go all the way up to game day. Do you have any more kind of clarity on that, or is that just going to be something that varies week to week?
Yeah, Chasen really played well the other day, and he had a hot hand, and so we kept him in there and kept doing some things with him. I think everybody recognized that fact. The interception's unfortunate. That was a bad decision. But Lorenzo's going to play for us. He's going to play quarterback, and we used him at running back, receiver, quarterback, all those places last week, and probably continue that trend. But he's going to continue to play quarterback. He's such a good athlete for us. He's got the ability to be a game breaker for us. He's got the ability to be matchup problems for other teams. So we're going to continue to do that. But I think Jason really did a nice job for us the other night.
Does he start for you guys this week?
I'm sorry?
Is he starting for you guys this week?
They're rotating right now in practice. Yeah, they're still rotating. So we're trying to grow them both. They're both juniors. We're trying to grow them both and get them both better right now, Rob.
Coach, defensively, it seemed like you almost were inviting them to run the football. I mean, was that the game plan? Keep everything in front of you? I mean, it seemed like a lot of coverage against these. I know they were explosive coming in, ULM. They didn't hit a lot of big plays. It was a lot of 13, 14 play drives. Was that the game plan, keep everything in front of you?
It was to keep it in front, not give up explosives. We said from the beginning we want to create explosives offensively and stop those things from happening on defense. We just didn't do a good job fitting the runs at times. There were too many times we gave up 6-7 yards on maybe a 3 or 4 yard where it should have been, and that allowed them to stay on the football field running the football and limited us as to how much we could have the football on offense. I think we ran 62 plays or 64, something like that. And, again, a lot of it has to do with offense. We got to stay on the field. When we have a third down, we have an opportunity. But we've got to be able to get off the field on third downs and stop them. 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 5, when you let guys get in that range, those are convertible third downs, run and pass, especially in college. But if you can get them in long third down situations, which they didn't allow themselves to do that later on in the game, as the game progressed, they started running the football on first, second down, get inside the chains, and then getting the third and manageable stuff. So, yeah, we didn't want to give up the explosive stuff. When we lost Xavier, that's when one of the explosive passes took place. But prior to that, they didn't have any, and except for I think it was the second play of the game. But prior to that, there really wasn't any. But the run game got them going. So they did a nice job on that.
Can you comment on the two trials right before the half? I know you didn't get points, but I thought it was impressive. I think 51 seconds, 37 seconds. You gave yourself an opportunity to score. And for a team that really just ran the football 80% of the time a year ago, to be able to put those type of drives together was something we haven't seen around here.
Yeah, I thought he was really good. And again, it goes back to practice. Now, the situational stuff that we do in practice, we hit the 2-minute drills every week. And during camp, it was 3 times a week, and we put them in different situations. So the operation of the offensive line, Greg Stevens getting the call down, signals going in, line running up to the ball, chasing, making the right reads, and the receivers getting in the right spots really worked out for us. So we're really pleased with that from a clock management standpoint. I thought our guys did a really good job. Again, you'd like to have points. We didn't get them, but you can't look back and say, well, that one play or anything like that, or the last kick right before the half. You got to look at the entire process of what took place going into that. So the operation of those things is really good. Greg did a super job with our guys setting that up.
Coach, you and Coach Ogeron are Louisiana-based guys. What's your relationship with Coach Ogeron and knowing him, coaching against him much?
Yeah, been knowing each other probably our whole lives, maybe since high school, a little bit afterwards, something like that. When it goes back that far, you kind of forget how you met or anything. But he's a good friend, very good coach, believes in his state, believes in his university, is a great ambassador for our state. He's got a heavier accent than I do. He's got better hair than I got. But he's an awesome guy. I wish him all the best of luck for the entire season. I hope, they have the season they dream of, just not this week, But he's a super guy, man. I'll pull for him every chance you get. He came over. He brought his staff over this summer and worked our camp for us, which was a great move for them and for us. Obviously, it benefited us. But it just kind of shows you what kind of guy he is and how much he believes in his state.
Coach Brian Mills from The Advocate. What's the general excitement of the team right now, and talking with your players? Did any of these guys, growing up really dream playing in Tiger Stadium?
I'm sure they did. I dreamed of playing there and, coaching there and everything else. But it's another game for us. It's 1 week. That's what it is. It's 1 week during the season. It's the coach speak of it's no bigger than last week and no more important than next week. It's the biggest game of the year because it's this week. It's our game. It's a scheduled game, things like that. And it's really not coach speak, but you got to get your guys to understand that it is just 1 week. So you're going to prepare, you're going to practice, you're going to get ready, and then you're going to play the game. And when the game's over with, you go back and evaluate it for good or for bad, and then you move on to the next opponent. That's the way this business is. We can't sit around Tuesday, Wednesday, and harp on it. We got to get ready for the next opponent. So we'll play Saturday. When that game's over with, we'll evaluate it Sunday, put it to bed, and then start again on Monday or Sunday night on the next opponent. Our players, we have to get them in the same frame of mind also. I thought they did a good job. I think there was a lot of noise about this game prior to the season, and a big concern of ours was going into the first game, do we have our sights set on the right ball club? And I think we did. I think our focus was on UL Monroe, and I think that allowed us to play the way that we did. Same thing's got to happen this week. We got to stay focused on this for the game, not for the atmosphere, not for the stadium, not for national television, anything like that. We just got to stay focused for the opportunity that we have on the field.
Did you worry about that? I mean, going in there.
Sure, you always do. Yeah, absolutely.
You guys want to see that?
They're 18 to 22, Rob. I mean, come on, you get lost in that stuff sometimes. So, but it happens. Look, it happens in the NFL. Guys play on Monday Night Football. They get jacked up, and they, got to do something spectacular. So that's out of the ordinary. I told our guys yesterday, just practice like we're supposed to practice, and then play like you practice. And that's good enough. That's the best you can do, and that's all we ask of them. They're not going to get any superhuman strength to make some kind of great play on Saturday night because of the venue or the opponent or anything like that, or who's on television or not. None of that matters. It doesn't make a difference one way or the other. What matters is how well we practice and prepare, and that puts us in a position not only to play well on Saturday, but grow as the season goes on and get better as the year goes on. So all of that stuff, it's fluff, sounds great, but it really doesn't matter in the long run.
Coach, talking about going to Tiger Stadium, how do you get the team accustomed to going to a much larger environment, a bigger atmosphere?
Yeah, just go play. Like I said, prepare and trust your process. Trust the process that we're putting forth in front of you day in and day out. And if you prepare and do those things, then you go play, and you'll play like you're prepared. When guys start thinking about other things and getting caught up in the other environment, that's when you lose focus. This game's too hard. It's unforgiving. If you're not ready, if you're not prepared, if you're not focused on the task at hand, it's very unforgiving because the guy on the other side of the ball will be. And it can be an embarrassment to you sometimes. So you have to make sure that you're doing everything that you can during the course of the week in practice to handle everything that could take place on Saturday night.
Coach, when our new staff comes in, I think first couple of weeks trying to figure out what the team's gonna look like. We were pass heavy on Thursday. Is that what we wanna be? I know we ran the ball, I think 23 times, didn't have as much success as we did through the air. I guess the question is the offense gonna be more of a pass heavy offense, or are you trying to be balanced?
Right. No, you'd like to be balanced. What happened was Thursday, I thought Monroe did a good job stopping the run. I think the first half we were pretty balanced, but they did a pretty good job stopping the run. When you stop the run, you can open some things up in the pass game. That allowed us to be a little bit better in the pass game. So we had a few more seams. We created some explosives, and a lot of times when you commit a lot of people to the box, you get more explosive plays. That's kind of what took place. So not that they dictated what we were doing, but they kept us from running the football effectively. So it put us in some situations where we had to throw when we felt like throwing on first and second down was our best opportunity to take some shots down the field, and that's what we did. So not so much that we want to throw it 55 times and run it 25, not so much that, but we'll do it. I'm okay doing that. We got to be able to do what's effective for us as far as moving the ball down the field.
You look at, I know most of us in here, I guess, watch the other teams, some of it. But when you look at it, you know, you can look at it as a person just watching the game and seeing, but from a coaching standpoint, what did you see offensively and defensively from LSU?
Yeah, I see defensively, you know, their front seven just jumps out at you, man. And I'm sure that their back seven, they've always been great. But they didn't show as much the other night because they didn't have a lot of opportunities. The ball never got there too much. It stayed up front. And even when they dropped back to pass, the guys were scrambling. So the top to, you know, all the way across the board, they're 11 on defense, are really talented. But their front seven really jumps out at you. On offense, what you see is a disciplined football team. You see a football team, in my mind, built to win that conference, which in turn allows you to win a national championship. Whereas I think maybe in the past few years it's been kind of more of it was a different type of offense. This is a more, I think, Ed Orgeron type offensive football team. Is we're going to be downhill, we're going to be physical, and we're going to punch in the mouth and take shots when we need to. That's what it looks like to me. I haven't been to practice or anything else, but I know his personality. I know Steve Ensminger's personality. So I know some of the guys on that staff. That's what it appears to me, that's what they're building for. That's what they want. That's their goal, and it shows on film.
When you prepare for a game, like you talk about knowing those guys, how much does it help you guys preparing that, okay, they might do this in this situation, and they might do
It
that?
does. There's some history, so you know, there's some tendencies, especially if you played them before in the past and things like that. So there's some things, but at the end of the day, it's about the players playing on the field. It's you put together a game plan and you implement it, and you practice it, and you work it, and everything else. But it's about the players implementing it and getting it done. The execution part is what's important. So we'll see how that goes, but that's what practice is for all week long.
Coach, with that stout front seven that you were just talking about, how do you plan on cutting into the LSU's defense?
Why would I tell you that? I'm not going to tell you that. I'm not. You know, we got to create some angles for our guys. We got to be able to get some double teams at places. We got to be able to use some misdirection. All those things. I mean, they're good. They're really. It's a quality football team up front. Miami's a good football team now. I think preseason 9, and they got manhandled. So we got to be able to do some. We got to scheme some things. We can't. And I'm not saying Miami underestimated LSU, but maybe they overestimated who they were. We can't make that mistake. We can't even come close to doing that. So we got to be able to do the things strategically to put us in a position to gain yardage on first and second down, get inside the chains, and then help nullify some of the pass rush because they're good at that also.
Outcomes here, you know, you talked to the Kiwanis and Denver Springs. I know what you told them there. What's your outlook going into this game?
Going into this game,
Yes, sir.
the outlook.
What is your outlook?
Well, outlook is we prepare and practice every week to play our best. And if our best is good enough to win, that's what it's going to be. So I don't know if I use those words exactly, but I know that's what we do every week. We put together a game plan. We prepare, we practice, we execute the game plan. And on Saturdays, if it's good enough, then we win on a scoreboard. If it's not, we learn from it, good and bad, grow from it, and then take it in the next week.
Everybody good?
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Any more shrimp left? We done?